Hello everyone, this is ChairFit and my name is Terri. I'm so glad you could join us today. What we're going to do is some standing exercises, warm up, and then we're going to do a little bit of balance at our chair, and then we're going to come down to the chair for the second half of class, and we're going to work on with hand weights. So if you don't have any hand weights, a couple water bottles work, maybe even a couple cans of soup. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to stand behind our chair. You want to make sure you have a nice, strong, sturdy chair. And we're going to just relax, stand up nice and tall. I want you to bring your arms out and then drop your arms and then take a full breath and circle all the way up. And then exhale down. Good. And then sweep those arms, take a deep breath again. Just getting some nice oxygen into the body. Let's do that again. Deep breath, stretching. Good. And then release it. We're going to do one more deep breath, and then we're going to stretch, grabbing, either interlace your fingers or grab a wrist. We're just going to stretch over to one side. And then we're going to stretch to the other side. And then we're going to take our arms forward and round our back. Standing cat stretch. And then we're going to inhale, lift. And then you're going to soften your knees and again round your back. Good. Inhale, stretch. Nice and tall. And then last time, just round your back. Good. And then stand nice and tall, but take the arms to the side. We're going to just roll out the shoulders. So bring those shoulders up, back, and down. A few more. And then maybe a few shoulder circles forward just to loosen up. Great. Last one. And then we're going to actually take our hands to our hips and we're going to soften those knees and do a couple little hip circles. And then take your time and circle the other direction. Good. Let's do one more nice big hip circle. Excellent. And then stand up nice and tall. We're going to take a nice deep breath. We're going to start some arm exercises. So we're going to bring our arms out in front of us. Start some circles right out in front of your chest. And nice, maybe soccer-sized circles in front of you. And you're breathing, starting to warm up the arms and the shoulders. And make sure you haven't locked your knees. So there's a little micro bend in the knees. You're relaxed. And we're going to reverse directions. Bringing the circles in for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take the arms out to the side. We're going to circle back. So starting to strengthen those arms. And of course the shoulders, you'll feel the deltoids. Let's do 8 more circles back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse it. Keep going, another 8. Starting to feel it here in the arms. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your arms all the way up. We're going to climb the ladder. So you're just reaching up towards the ceiling. Gently stretching. Wonderful. 4. Stretch for 3. Good. Reach for 2. 1. We're going to take this, do the same movement. We're going to take it wide arms. So you're still reaching up, but you're pulling your elbows out to the side and down into the body, towards the ribs. Great. Let's do 4 more. It's a little bit different part of the muscles. And last one. And then we're going to actually bring the arms forward. We're going to reach and pull. Just gently rowing back. Giving those elbows behind you. Good. Reach it out. Pull it back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take both arms out in front. We're going to imagine we're holding a steering wheel. And this is going to help a lot with the shoulder blades. So we're gonna take it easy. Imagine we're driving a car down the street. There's a lot of movement happening in the shoulders, upper back. Get a little bit of a twist happening. 4 more. Twist for 3. Twist for 2. And 1. Good. Let's rest the arms and actually place them on the chair. We're going to step 1 foot back, and you're just going to gently lunge. Make sure that front knee has a little bend in it. We're going to take the arms forward. We're going to do something called the bow and arrow. So you're going to reach and pull back. Imagine you're pulling back on the bow. Good. Bring that elbow behind you. 4 more. Just take your time. And then last one. And then bring it back in. Take your time as we switch legs. And just a nice lunge back. Both arms come up. The other arm pulls back. And it reaches forward. You pull it back. And reach forward. Good. Gently pulling back. Opening up that shoulder. And here's our final 4. Stretch it back for 3. Stretch it back for 2. And 1. Good. And then come forward. We're going to take our hands to our chair. And we're going to do some squats. So you want your feet to be at least hip distance apart. Standing behind your chair. We're going to sit back. And we're going to glide the hips back. And as you do, you're bending your knees. And if you're wearing tennis shoes, your knees are tracking kind of over your laces, your shoelaces. So let's do 4 more, and then we'll add the arms if you feel comfortable. So right now for balance, keep holding the chair. Remember, just glide your hips back like you're sitting in a chair behind you. Now if you'd like to add the arms come forward parallel to the floor as those hips drop back. Excellent. So we're going to do 8 of those. We're down to our final 4. Exhale forward. Inhale up. 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Good. Now holding on to the chair, we're going to take our right leg and we're just going to take it out and then the left leg out. So this is for our hips, working the inner and outer thighs. We're opening up the hip, making sure that the toe is pointing forward. So the leg is coming straight out to the side. And your supporting leg is soft. It's called the tick-tock. Excellent for the hips. Again, range of motion depends on you. Maybe you're just going just an inch off the ground. That's fine. Hold on to the chair for balance. And as you get more comfortable, you can lift the leg a little higher. Good. We'll do 4 more. And then 3 more. And as you get better at your balance, you can just place maybe just fingertips on the chair and you don't have to grip quite so hard. Last one. Slide it out. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and tap that right leg. And as you tap out, you're just relaxing, dropping not just the knee, but the hips. So that supporting leg is just relaxing as you tap. 4, 3, good. Sink down for 2, and 1. Good. Let's go to the other side. So feet are together. Tap and up. Tap and together. Good. Reach it out. Good. Again, focusing on opening up the hips. This is the final 4. Good. Just 2 more. Excellent. Good. Let's come. Let's come to the side of our chair. We're going to work on balance. So we're going to start with the outside leg coming in front of the other foot. We're going to stand nice and tall. We're going to rock a little bit from front to back because you want to make sure your weight is even on the front leg and the back leg. So you don't want to put all your weight front and you don't want to place too much weight back because you might lose your balance. So once you find that spot where you feel like you're 50-50, we're going to go ahead and take one arm up. And this is called the Tandem Feet balance. Some of you can challenge yourself, take both arms up. Remember, the chair is there for you. And I always tell people to look about 6 to 8 feet in front of them. Keep your eyes focused on one spot. Think about lifting tall. Imagine a string is drawing you from the crown of your head all the way up towards the ceiling. And while we're balancing here, if you're having trouble with your balance, you might want to take that front leg out a little bit wider, and then maybe release the arms. So you know your body best. Let's go ahead and turn the palms up and turn the palms down. Palms up and palms down. Let's do 4 more. So we're getting some upper body work while we're balancing. Good, 2 more. Make sure you've engaged your core here as you stand nice and tall. Good, so now we're gonna go ahead and make a fist. Take those fingers out and spread them from wall to wall. Make a fist, squeezing, and then extend those fingers. Gently squeeze as hard as you can, and then stretch those fingers, and squeeze, and stretch. We're gonna do 1 more. Good, and then the last exercise with the fingertips coming up towards the ceiling, dropping down to the floor, lifting the fingers, and dropping. And we're just gonna finish here with 8. So we're almost there. Give me 4 more. Just a swing of the fingers up towards the ceiling, swing them back down, 2 more, and last one. Perfect. Now go ahead and rest those arms, shake them out. Good, rest the legs, shake those out too. Good. So we got 1 more balance exercise here on this side. So you're gonna hold on to the chair. Again, you're gonna take the outside leg up so that supporting leg is closest to the chair. If you lose your balance, you can just lean into the chair and get some support. So we're gonna take that right leg up, and right now I want you to put your hand on your hip and take a moment just to kind of roll out the ankle. And just get comfortable being on one leg. Standing up nice and tall, reverse the circles in the ankle. Focus on some nice big breaths. And then we're gonna pause so that that foot stays flexed. We're gonna take one hand out at the waist, the palm up, and then if you can, take both hands. Find that spot. See if you can balance. Now if you're having trouble, you can keep that foot nice and low to the ground. If you lose your balance, you've got that floor to stomp on. So a couple more breaths if you want to challenge. Of course, the knees come up. So we're going to stay here for another 10 seconds. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. Good, 4 more seconds. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and grab the chair, extend the legs straight. We're going to flex and point the toe. And if you want to add a little bit more strength balancing to this, we'll flex the foot and keep it flexed. Same arm as leg comes out. And we stay here, or we take both arms up. It's up to you. Remember, you can have the legs high, that leg high, or you can drop that balancing leg to the floor on the heel. And play around with it a little bit. 4 more seconds. Excellent. Bring that leg down. Go ahead and grab the chair again. We're going to walk behind the chair. Just shake it out because we're going to do the whole thing on the other side. So we're going to start with the tandem feet. So the outside leg comes. It's either does a little baby step forward, or the heel aligns with the toe. And again, you want to rock a little bit from front to back, making sure not too much weight is in the front leg and not too much is in the back. Good. When you're feeling confident, we're going to take the arm out. You want to make sure you're drawing the Abdominals in, lifting again from the crown. Maybe take both hands off the chair. And if you're confident, palms up and palms down. Some nice, slow, regular breaths. Try and relax. Make sure the palms are down so we can make a fist, and then we'll stretch those fingers up. Thinking about taking those fingers, stretching them wall to wall. Squeeze tight, gently stretch, squeeze and hold. Inhale, stretch. One more time, squeeze and hold. Those fingers come up, those fingers drop towards the floor. Slide those fingers up and down, just 6 more. Good, just 5. And 4. Good, 3. You can do it, just 2 more. And last one. I know those arms are starting to probably fatigue, so shake them out. Get your feet together, maybe even roll out the shoulders a little bit. Good. Maybe if you need to, shake out those legs. That's a lot of work on the legs. Okay, so we're gonna hold on to the chair, picking up that outside leg again. We're gonna go ahead and relax here as we roll out the ankle first. This is just really good for the feet and ankles. And then make sure you circle the other direction before we go into the balance. And when you're ready, go ahead and flex the foot, hold it still. Take that outside arm, same as leg, and lift the palm. And this might be your balance, and that's fine. If you want a little bit of a challenge, both arms. And we're just gonna stay here for 15 seconds. Good, 4 more. Hold on to the chair, extend the leg, just relax the arm. We're just flexing and pointing, strengthening the ankle and the feet. And remember, if you're getting fatigued, just take that heel down. Take the same arm and bring it up and just stand nice and tall, get a nice stretch in. Maybe bring both arms up. This is a great balance right here. Heel down, both arms up. And maybe picking up the foot. Or maybe not. Always lower that heel. Think about stretching nice and tall towards the ceiling. And we'll just stay here for 4 more breaths, or 4 seconds. Wonderful. Last breath here. Good. Lower the feet. Make sure you're on both feet before you go ahead and grab the chair. And again, we're going to take a moment to shake out the arms and legs. You might even want to walk around your chair. Loosen up the hips. So that's a lot of work on the hips. That supporting leg got a lot of strengthening through that balance. So we're going to come to our chair. And you want to make sure you're sitting somewhere in the center of the chair and your feet are flat on the floor. So again, if you have hand weights, get them. I have some wraparounds. Water bottles work also. Good. So we're going to begin by just taking the arms to the side, and I want you to just do an easy lateral raise. So the elbows are soft, so we're not locking the joints and putting too much stress as we lift the arm. We're just softening the wrists and elbows. Just let the arms float on up. Inhale, lift. On the exhale, let gravity just drop them down. Good, inhale, extend. Good, and release. A couple more. Good, now stay with me. what we're gonna do is do a lateral raise up. We're gonna bring the arms together so the palms come together, and then we exhale back to our side. So it's out to the side, bring it front, and lower it down. Good, out to the side, bring those hands together, and release. And remember, you're sitting up nice and tall, using those core muscles. And this is the last one, and then we're gonna actually reverse directions. So stay here, follow me. We're gonna come forward this time. We're gonna open up the heart, and then we're gonna lower. Forward, open and expand. Good, exhale down. Lift it up, gently open, and release. Remember, we're not locking the joints. Good, 2 more. And here's your last one. Inhale up, gently open, take your time, and exhale down nice and slow. Good, we're gonna take the hands so that our arms are at a 90-degree angle. We're gonna just tap each shoulder with the opposite weight. So if you don't have hand weights, that's fine. Just make a fist with your hands. You're just tapping the opposite shoulder. But you've lengthened your spine. You're zipping up your core, so you don't want to be slouched here. Use the energy to sit up nice and tall. Good, let's do 4 more. Good, cross for 3. Good, cross for 2. And then last time, just a gentle cross over the body. Good, now from here, keep your elbows glued to your side. We're gonna open and close. Working the rotator cuff and the shoulders. So just slide out, bring it back in. Gently slide out, pull it back in. Excellent, 4 more. Good, slide for 3, 2, and 1. Now we're gonna work on some bicep curls, so we're just bringing it up and down. And we're gonna try and add some lower body work with these bicep curls. So let's just do 4 single bicep curls, upper body. 2 more. And then we're gonna add the lower body. So for every curl, you tap a heel. So again, if you're having trouble tapping, you want to be maybe come a little closer to the edge of your chair so you have plenty of space to feel comfortable. Excellent. This is the last 4. Just 3 more. Tap and squeeze. Good. 2 more. Nice. Last one. Now we're going to do some front raises for the arms and the legs. So we did this earlier where we took the arms straight out to about shoulder height. Raise both arms forward. And now we're going to add a leg kick. So it looks like this. Every time you raise your arms, you extend the leg. So reach and extend. Toes point up towards the ceiling. Starting to work that upper leg muscle, the quadricep. Good. Keeping nice and strong in the upper and lower body. And we're just about there. 4 more. Lift. 3. Good, for 2. And for 1. Good, now keep your arms right where they are. We're gonna do something called, this is the hammer grip. We're gonna take the weights all the way up to our shoulders and then all the way back down to the hips. So bicep curls, but with more range. And we are gonna add the lower body to this exercise. So let's do 4 more singles with just the arms. Good, 2 more. We're gonna add a knee lift. Here we go. So as we do a bicep curl, the knee comes up and release. Knee. And it doesn't have to be a high knee lift. Just trying to get the foot off the floor. Starting to engage those hip flexors. And some of you might want to just lean back a little bit, get that knee a little bit higher. You can actually lean back into your chair, bring that knee up for more range of motion. Or you can just stay here. It could be very small movement. Do what works for you. 4. Good. 3. 2. And 1. Good. So I talked about leaning back. Let's all lean back. Keep the feet flat on the floor. Take the weights just to your chest, and we're going to press out. This is called the chest press. We're not taking the weights overhead. We're actually just leaning back and taking them in a diagonal straight from the chest. Press out. Good. And back. Exhale out. Inhale. Exhale. Good. 4 more. And 3. And 2. And 1. Good. And then come forward. So we're going to actually walk our feet together. I want you to hinge, leaning forward just slightly. The weights are going to be on either side of your leg, and we're just going to roll up. So elbows are lifted. Your back is straight. You're looking at the ground. And then just sliding up the body up towards those armpits. 4 more. Raise for 3. Raise for 2. And 1. Now, next time I want you to keep those elbows up. We're going to add a tricep kickback. So we're working our tricep muscles. We're pressing back. We're keeping those elbows stationary. Just gently take your weight, kick it back. And try and avoid too much swinging, where you're just swinging and bringing it up, swinging. So try and keep the rest of the body pretty stationary. And it's just from the elbows down that you're pressing back. Good. Let's do 4 more. Just 3. Just 2. Good. Last one. And we're going to combine those 2 movements that we just did. So we're going to start with a row. We're rowing up. We're pressing back. We're returning and down. So lift, extend, bring it back, and lower. Good. Up, press back, return, and down. Lift up, press back, return, and down. Final 4. Remember to breathe. Good. Last 2. Good. Here's the last one. I know the shoulders are getting tired. All right. Bring it back in. We're going to actually take the feet a little bit wider. And again, I want you to scoop up towards the edge of your chair. And you're going to take it to a comfortable straddle. The weights are your arms. If you don't have weights, just take your fists between your legs. This is called the upright row. We're going to draw it up towards the chest and down. Elbows come out to the side to about shoulder height. Good. Bring it up. Release it. Draw it up. And it's coming straight up the body. Center line of the body, right to the chest. Perfect. 4 more. And 3. 2. And 1. Good. Now walk your feet together. We're going to do something called the fly. So again, the weights in your hands are on the outside of your legs. Elbows are soft. We're going to lift and down. Again, slightly leaning forward. Keep those elbows slightly bent. Good. Final 4. Excellent. and then roll up. So we're gonna keep our feet hip distance apart, keep our weights or our hands right on our knees. We're gonna release into a rounded back. So give your back a nice stretch here. You've been working it hard, sit up nice and tall, leaning forward from the heart, just easy stretch. And then again, sitting up tall but pulling that navel in towards the spine as you round your back. Make sure you drop your chin. Let the weight of your head just gently stretch through the neck and that upper back. Good, take your time sitting up and leaning forward. We'll just do 2 more. Get a nice seated cat-cow stretch in. Sit up nice and tall and just gently hinge forward. You're looking over a cliff, and this is our last one. We're just gently curling. Good, and then sitting up nice and tall. So we're going to do a little bit more cardio in the chair. I'm going to start with taking our fists or our hand weights and placing them just right underneath the chin. I want you to start to run in place. So it's just tapping on the toes. It's a quick little movement. And keeping those legs nice and active. Hold the hands right here, another 10 seconds. Now if you need to take a break, but we're going to take the arms to cactus. So the arms are at a 90-degree angle, palms are facing forward. Let's add that run in place. So it's like jogging in place, but we're actually running. So if you can make it a little bit quicker, a little faster, keeping those arms nice and lifted for 10, for 9, for 8, for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Go ahead and rest. Good. So make sure those feet are flat on the floor. We're going to take a little break. We're going to lift the shoulders up to the ears and then release down. Good. Lift the shoulders to the ears. Good. Relax down. It's just 2 more. Just shrugging the shoulders and then letting the weights draw those shoulders down away from the ears. And then 1 more time. Gently squeeze. Excellent work. Okay, so we're going to do 1 more exercise for the hips. And so you're going to take your right hand and you're going to hold it at a 90-degree angle right in front of your shoulder. And we're going to do something called a crossover punch. So they call this the jab. We're coming across the body and jabbing. So notice how my elbow gets nice and high as I bring it around. Really good, not just for the shoulder, but you're working that upper back. So we'll do a couple more of those and then we'll add the lower body. Great, last one. Now we're going to do a tap. So we're going to do a jab tap. So as you jab, the toe taps out. So it's jab tap and tap. So if you can get that leg to swing out, we'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Let's go to the other side. The other arm gets ready. You're sitting up nice and tall. We jab. So we'll remember we're coming across, lifting that elbow. Good jab. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and we're going to add the tap. So it's jab, tap, good, jab, tap. So it's the same arm as leg, it's coming out to the side as the arm comes, swings the other direction across the body. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, let's do 1 more. Perfect, and release it. Good, so you did a lot of good work here already. You've done a nice warm up, you've done some balancing. We're gonna actually set the weights down for a bit, and we're gonna focus on that lower body. I think the arms have got a good workout today. We're gonna go ahead and roll onto the outside of our shoe and allow the knees to open up a little bit. So stretching those hips we worked. Good, take your time, just gently opening the knees. You're rolling onto the outside of your foot. And then squeezing it back in. So if you want to work those inner thighs a little bit more, you can make your hands a fist and then squeeze with your knees, squeezing the fist together. And then relax and open. And then get some resistance here as you squeeze really tight. You can feel it in the inner thighs. And then gently open, stretching. And squeeze those fists. Good, and then open. And we'll do it one more time. If you'd like to squeeze the fists, engaging those inner thighs. Keep squeezing. Wonderful, and then release. We're gonna take the feet wide. We're gonna relax, and then you can take your hands to the outside of your knee, create resistance there. So as those knees come back over the ankle, your hands are actually pushing in. Try and resist those knees from opening fully. So let's try and put a little pressure on working now the outside of the thigh. So right here you want to push in. And then gently squeeze, and right here push in. And squeeze, the hands are pushing in. Relax, hands are pushing in as the knees try and push out. Good, last time. And push. Excellent, hold it here. And release, good, shake it out. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of stretching. I want you to grab one knee, lean back in your chair, just give the knee a hug. And then we're going to take that leg and extend it out. We're going to round our back. We're going to reach for the ankle or the toe. Nice hamstring stretch. Beautiful. Bring the feet together. Let's take that other leg. We're just hugging the knee to chest. Just relax. Take a nice deep breath here. And as you lower the foot, extend it out. And then take your time as you slide on down. Just giving that hamstring a nice stretch, maybe touching the toe. Wonderful. Let's take the feet wide again because we're going to take the outside arm, bring it over the head as we support the hand at the thigh. Relaxing and stretching through that side body. Beautiful. Take your time as you lean into the other leg. Arm comes up, maybe over the head. And then we're going to bring the feet together. We're going to cross either at the ankle or the knee. We're going to twist and turn, looking back over your shoulder. So you want to relax into these stretches. You worked hard. Beautiful. Inhale back to center, and again, option ankle or knee. Gently turning. and then coming back to center, we're going to stretch the neck and shoulders. We'll be done. So we're actually going to start by taking one arm across, or you could take it to the opposite shoulder. Nice stretch for the shoulder that we worked. And then you're going to take the hand and place it on the same shoulder. Hold it here. And then you're going to drop that elbow, take ear to shoulder, and then maybe the opposite arm will extend away from the body. So it's just a dip, ear to shoulder. Couple nice long breaths. Nice deep breath as you sit up nice and tall, neutral neck and spine. Good, take the arm either all the way across or just to the shoulder, support it. And this is your opportunity to breathe. And then the hand comes to the same shoulder, lifting the elbow slightly. As you lower that elbow, the other ear dips towards the shoulder. Maybe the opposite arm floats up. You're sending this neck stretch all the way down the arm and hopefully out the fingertips. Good. Take a nice deep breath as the head comes neutral again. We're going to drop the chin to chest. We're going to inhale, lift the nose to ceiling, eyes gaze up. You don't want to hyperextend here, just nose to ceiling. And then one more time, just relaxing the chin to chest. Let the weight of your head stretch the back of your neck. Good, and then sitting up nice and tall, you gaze up. And then we're going to return to a nice neutral spine, and we're going to tuck that chin in. We're going to take the arms, sweep them up. We're going to bring the hands together in prayer. We're going to exhale all the way down to the heart. We're going to do 3 more. Full breath up. Exhale, return. Good, 2 more times. Big breath. Good, relax down. Good, get a lot of oxygen in. Exhale to the heart center, press those palms together. Take one final cleansing breath here. And everybody give yourself a hand. Pat on the back, and even a little clapping. Thanks for coming and joining me. Next week we'll be doing one more class before hopefully we can return to in-person. So check for in-person classes in January. So have a wonderful rest of the day. Hope to see you next week. If I don't, have a happy holiday.